come up with about the right answer. And when we write about the right answer, we use this little squiggly sign because it's almost the right answer. So we're going to do some practice problems together. I want you to write them down, and we're going to do the same strategy we used when we were estimating sums of numbers, which was addition. We're going to write the problem down first, and then draw our arrows, and then estimate. Make math composition book, please.
Disappeared.
Is it hiding? All right, let's get it out.
It ran away.
It ran away.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start with problem in the tens place. Write this down, please. 38 and 16. So I want to refresh your memory when it comes to estimating. We look to the number to the right. If it's 5 or greater, the number goes up. If it's less than 5, the number stays the same. So the first number is?
38.
It is 38, but what am I going to estimate it to, Emily?
40.
40, good. Rule number 2 is raise your hand for permission to speak. So when I ask you, my expectation is that your hand is raised. So 16, my rule again is look to the number to the right. If it's 5 or greater, the number goes up. What's it going to round to? It's going to round to 20. Very good. And so notice that I drew the arrows and I wrote the problem to the side. I really want you to get in the habit of writing the number off to the side so you can see if you estimated it correctly. So what is my answer if I have 40 minus 16? Or I'm sorry, 40 minus 20. Audrey?
20.
It is 20. So the idea of doing estimation is that you can do your math quickly. So that's why we estimate. In a real world example, you would estimate because you don't want to take the time to do the exact answer and you want to do it quickly. All right, please write down number 2. We're going to stick with another nice small one.
20.
And we're going to look at number 76 minus 53. What is 76 going to round to, Leah?
80.
Thank you for raising your hand. And what does 53 round to? Thank you for raising your hand, Emily.
50.
50, good job. And my subtraction problem between 80 and 50 is?
30.
30, very good. So we're gonna write down 1 or 2 more problems together in our composition book. This is getting you used to lining up the problems, and then we're going to be writing down the correct answers. Then we're gonna move over to our math workbook and you'll have a surprise. All right, number 3, write this down. Shh, raising your hand. No.
It's not.
525, 525 minus 230. So when we're subtracting money, the only thing we're going to do here is we're going to estimate first. We're going to leave the dollar sign in the problem, and the dollar sign goes in the answer also. So what is 525 estimate to? Kellen?
530.
Okay, so it could go to 530 if this number, like we estimate to the greatest place of the least number. So all of these were the same place value in both numbers. So since they're the same place value in both numbers, we're going to estimate to the greatest one. So this one is going to be
500.
500. Very good, because we're estimating to the hundreds place in this problem. And how about 230? 230. Lily?
200.
It estimates to 200. Very good. And what's 500 minus 200? Diego?
300.
300. Very good. So those all had the same place value. Now I want to go ahead to one that has a different place value. I want you to pay attention to my numbering. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. We'll do one more here. And this is going to be a problem with money again, so we're going to make sure that we write down our dollar sign. Gio?
First one is 4,000.
4,000, very good. So the first number estimates to 4,000. And Logan, what's the second one estimate to?
2,000.
2,000. Why does it estimate to 2,000 and not 1,000? Say it nice and loud.
7's higher than 5.
7 is higher than 5, so it goes up. And so I have 4,000 minus 2,000. What's the answer, Logan?
Is it? Yeah, 2,000.
2,000. Don't forget your dollar sign.
Right.
So did everybody notice that we were in the same place value for all of those problems?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Did everybody get a chance to write all of those down?
No.
Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to open up your math workbook, and guess what? These are the first 4 problems in your workbook. So you're gonna, excuse me, rule number 1 is follow directions quickly. Rule number 2 is raise your hand for permission to speak. Thank you for raising your hand. Yes. You're going to put your math composition book away. You're going to open up your math workbook, and I'm going to leave these problems up here because you're going to write these down for the first 4 problems. Look, they're the same one.
Oh, this is my review.
So write those down, and then I want to go on to number 5 with you in just a few minutes because number 5 is going to be a little bit different. Number 5 is going to be different because it's rounding to the greatest place of the least number, and we have different place values in the next 4 problems we're going to do together.
Is it 301?
It's 3-1,
Yeah.
page 33 in your math workbook. And please just put your pencil down when you're done with these 4 so I know that you're ready to move on. Kayla, you need to get out your math workbook, please. Write it down. Now, you're probably gonna want to write your estimates to the right of the problems. They're gonna be a little, tight on your workbook page. So if you need a piece of notebook paper, you can use a piece of notebook paper. If you wanna use your composition book, you can use your composition book. You can also turn to the back of your math workbook, and there's papers in the back of your math workbook that you can use. If you go to all the way to the very back page, there's usually, is there an extra page there too, or no?
No.
No, they stopped.
It's this.
They used to have a couple extra pages for you to write on. That's okay. So you're gonna run out of room. You might also wanna use your whiteboard if you have your whiteboard with you. Because the strategy to write out the problem is really gonna be important when we do the next 4 problems. Did everybody get a chance to write these 4 down?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
take a few minutes and write them down. Yes.
There's an extra page right here to write it on.
Okay, it's in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an extra page in the front of your book if you wanna write some down in the front of your book. You can always use your math composition book or a whiteboard also.
It says votes on it.
It says notes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start with number 5 over here to get ready for number 5. Yes? I'm not ready for you yet.
I don't want to round up like this.
Good,
My stepdad told me to.
good. And we did this in the last chapter too, so it shouldn't be really new to you. It should just be something that you're fairly familiar with. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and erase these. If you didn't have a chance to write them down, you can get them from a friend or you'll have to do them on your own. All right, let's go ahead and start with number 5. So this is the one I really want you to pay close attention to, is that it says rounding to the place of the least number. And so of these 2 numbers, Izzy, pay attention, of these 2 numbers, what's my least number? Aiden, what's my smaller of the 2 numbers? The 3,000 number, very good. And so I want to round to this place. So I look to the number to the right, and both of these are going to be rounded to the thousands place, the thousands place. So Diego, what would this one round to?
3.
not 30,000. So remember, that's just rounding to the greatest place of that number, and we're rounding to the place of the least number. Yes,
28,000.
so it's 28,000. The 8 looks to the 7 looks to the 8. The 8 turns the 7 to an 8, so it's 28,000. We're rounding to the thousands place. Did everybody get a chance to write that down? All right, Shayla, you want to try the next one? The 9 changes the 4 to a, I'm sorry, the 3 to a 4. I just said the answer. So that becomes 4,000. I'm going to make you do the next one, so I won't give you the answer out loud. So 28,000 minus 4,000 is what, Dizzy? 8 minus 4. 24,000 is 4, and then bring down the 2. So it's 24,000. I want to make sure you guys realize to round to the place of the least number. That's important. So did everybody get a chance to write that one down?
Yes.
Okay, take a few minutes and write that down. Yes,
There's no room.
I'm sorry.
There's no room to write it.
There's room to write it down. You just have to be creative and write around it. You can write on your, like I said before, you can write on a piece of white paper. You can write it in your notebook. You can write it on your whiteboard. If you need to write it somewhere else, do so.
Oh, you didn't give the answer, right?
Well, I want you to make sure that you're underlining the places so you know where they are. This is the important part here. A lot of times what you could do also is you could write above it. So you could change this to 28,000 here. And then you could use 4,000, you could write it, off to the side, or 4,000 as long as you line it up. You always want with subtraction your bigger number to be on top, so it's hard to write those. You could always write above them or to the side. That's why we have our whiteboards, that's why we have our notebooks out, we have extra paper if we need it. All right, let's take a look at number 6, please. So everybody can write down number 6 on a piece of paper or their whiteboard. I want, first up, it's going to be rounding, it's going to look at place value. It's 87,009 minus 6,552. So I look at my number of the least place. So the least place is my thousands place. So I look to the number to the right, and what is this number going to round to? Shayla?
86.
It's not going to go to 86. It's actually just going to stay the same. So it stays the same. If the number is less than 5, it stays the same. So this one is going to be 87,000. Emily, how about the next problem? The 5 is going to tell the 6 to do what?
Go up a number.
It's going to go up a number. It's going to be what?
7,000.
7,000, very good. And so look how easy the subtraction is on that problem, because I'm taking the 7,000 out. What is my answer? Yes?
80,000.
80,000, very good. 80,000 is correct. Did everybody get a chance to write that down? All right, let's do number 7 together. Look at that problem and see what place value that we are going to round to. Did I write that backwards? Sometimes I invert my numbers.
No, you did it correctly.
Good. You guys, Ari, you'll have to be the one checking me to make sure I do it correctly. All right. So, what's my place value that I'm going to round to, Gio?
It's gonna be the 10,000s.
The 10,000s place. So underline your number in your 10,000s place. Look to the number to the right. If it's 5 or greater, the number goes up. If it's less than 5, the number stays the same. So what's this one gonna round to, Ari?
I think it's gonna 37.
It's not gonna be 37. Why is it not gonna be 37? Because because 37 would be rounding to the thousands place, not the 10,000s place. I wanna round to the 10,000s place. What do you think? It would be 240,000, very good, don't forget that first number. 240,000. And how about this one? The 7 in the thousands place is gonna turn the 3 to a, Alyssa,
40,000.
it's gonna turn into a 40,000. Look, they made that problem really easy to subtract because they took out that 40,000. How much do I have remaining? Emily?
200,000.
Very good, 200,000 remaining. 200,000. Okay, so what I would like you to do is I want you to work, I will go around and pass out a piece of notebook paper because I want, when you're working the rest of these problems, to see your work written on notebook paper. And I want you to do very neatly and take your time. Reed, are you with me? Did you get a chance to write all these down? Okay, so take the time to write these down. These are 5, 6, and 7. So everybody should have an opportunity to do 1 through 4 and 5, 6, and 7. So you're only gonna do 8 through 20 right now, 8 through 20. And I'm gonna give you a piece of notebook paper because I want you to write down the estimates on the notebook paper. You don't have to rewrite the problem, you can just rewrite what you estimate it to on your notebook paper. Does that make sense? You don't have to rewrite the whole problem and draw the arrows, you just have to rewrite the what you would estimate it to. Yes? I'm gonna give you notebook paper to write it down on, you'll write your answers in your book. Okay? Yes,
Do we have to do the homework side?
eventually, but right now we're doing our classwork. Yes,
You go, Dr.
okay, you need to go at recess time.
Yeah.
Go now.